Natasha Denona, she took her iconic gold palette and gave us a boring golden palette. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. For today I have got an amazing video to film. I'm so excited to play with the new golden palette from Natasha Denona. How beautiful, how practical, how perfect for summer. This palette's going to be fire for summer. But guys, let's get into it. So if you want to see some comparisons with the lovely gold palette with the new revamped palette, then please stick around for today's video and make sure you are subscribed before leaving today, and let's go ahead and get into it. I don't know, how can you, like, let's go ahead and get into the swatches because I know that's why you're here. So this bad boy retails for $69. You can do what I did and go to the Natasha Denona website and use a creator's discount code to save 15% off. This palette came to 50 something for me and it got here within days from me ordering. So I do recommend ordering from the Natasha Denona website in case you were curious. I wanted to make sure that my swatches were in different lighting because this palette was honestly pretty tricky to like take pictures of, because in different lighting it would completely change the undertones. So I wanted to make sure I kind of gave you the most realistic, like what it actually looks like in person as well as I possibly could. I noticed that for the best outcome to get you to really see the true tones of these colors, you had to do it in outside lighting. The natural sunlight really showed this palette off, because I know it's like on Natasha Denona's website it looks one way. Some videos I have seen it look very orange, or I'm sorry, not videos, but like pictures, and then some it look neutral. So I'm like, what are you really getting it in person? She looks honestly like a beautiful champagne bronzy palette with the neutral shades. It's not too orange, you know what I'm saying? So guys, let me go ahead and pop up some comparison swatches with the iconic gold palette and the new revamped version. I'm going to go ahead and pop up a few different pictures. I want to show you these palettes up close and personal in natural light so you can see the differences and how similar they are. I mean, she took all the beautiful parts of gold and took it out and gave us this newer palette. But I wanted you to see in natural sunlight like what you're getting. I believe there's 9 repeat shades. I'm going to pop up a picture as well so you can see what shades are identical. But honestly, I'm not mad at getting the same shades because my gold palette, she's a little old. She still performs like a queen though, but it was nice to have like newer shades that aren't expired, you know? So let's go ahead and get into the look. My review is going to go 2 different ways, okay? So I'm going to have like a review if you are a lover of the original gold palette, and I'm also going to review this palette if you could care less about the original gold palette and you're just like, I want to know, is the new one beautiful or what? So I'm going to have 2 different versions of this if you're curious, because I love me the original gold palette, so I do think I would like to share my opinion with you. Let's go ahead and get into this palette. I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel like there's a lot of repetition, but in the best way possible. I'm going to start off with the cream to powder, the lightest shade. And let me just see what this is about. I love the cream to powder shade. I have worn my makeup for hours upon hours. We went shopping. Where else did we go? Is that it? I don't even remember what day it is. But we did some things today. We played outside, so my makeup has sweated off. Sweated? You know what I mean. Anyways, so the cream to powder, it's beautiful. I love the formulation. A little chunky, but beautiful. This is the lightest one I just went into. Now I'm going to go in with Panna and see kind of like the undertone, if you can tell a difference. In my crease, I have a very light skin complexion, so there you have it. You can't really tell a difference. There's not a significant change, but a little bit. There's a little difference. So guys, y'all know, well, you might not know if you're new. Hi, my name's Brittany, but I have been begging Natasha Denona to come out with a new revamped gold palette. This is not what I had in mind. Okay, cream to powders are pretty, but does it look like I did anything? Okay, let's dive on in and get into some more shades. I'm going to just try to like throw them all on my face. Let's go into Flesh because I'm trying to see the differences, if any. But I'm a neutral lover, so give me 10 shades of brown and I'm still going to be happy. So like I was saying, I've always wanted a newer gold palette. We got the mini gold, which I'll show you. And then we have the big mama. And now we have this one. And I can definitely see this one being more practical for everyday. For those of you who did not enjoy the teals in the gold palette, but that is what made it iconic and legendary. Those beautiful duochromes, the toppers, the sparkles. Now, this is coming from somebody who I reach into the gold palette at least twice a month. So she's not dusty in my collection. Like, I pull her out all the time. Let's go into Sandstone. There are a little bit of different undertones in here, and that's another thing with the original gold palette. The undertones, like, there's just such variety, whereas the new baby, she's a little repetitive, a little redundant. Oh, that's a pretty rich shade. And also, I wanted to note, whenever I was swatching them and comparing them, the old mama, she was very rich and pigmented, whereas the new one, it had to be built up a little bit. So maybe that's, you know, an updated formulation. Maybe it's like easier to blend. But I did want to note that the original gold palette is still more pigmented, more vibrant, just packs a punch. Whereas this one's more softer, more buildable. I had to go into my swatches twice, whereas with the first original palette, I only had to dip into it once. So those of you may enjoy that, and some of you may not. I'm going to go into Aria. Sorry, I have not watched any reviews or Natasha Denona's videos, which I probably should have, but I just didn't. I'm going to go into this one next. So as you can see, we're using lots of different shades, and they all look the same. Beautiful, nonetheless. Let's do this one on my lower lash line. I love having eyeshadow down here because it just kind of hides my wrinkles, or at least I like to think so. It was so funny, whenever I first saw this palette, I was like, oh, golden, like, it's not like a new gold palette. And then I was like, oh no, dear God, is it actually, like, where did you put my greens and my teals? Like, what are you doing? Where are my duochromes? And then I was like, I'm not gonna buy it. I, like, spent 2 days, like, upset. Like, I just had to, like, honestly deal with it. That is so hilarious, because I know some people are like, I don't even care. Like, please, I don't care. Just give me a Natasha Denona palette and I'm happy. But after I internalized everything and came to the conclusion that, yes, I wanted to buy this palette, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to come into it with an open mind. But I just wanted to share with you, like, the roller coaster as someone who loves the gold palette so much, like, what I had to go through in order to talk myself into this palette. Now I'm going to go into Log, this deep brown, and just deepen out the outer corner. But I mean, good lord, these mattes are layering on beautifully, but just now I have to kind of dip in 2 times on each to blend them, whereas like the OG, if you care, no, I would just go into that one time, like a little boop, and I'd have enough for my entire eye. So I just wanted to know that, depending on your skin tone, skin complexion, all of the things, that might make it or break it for you. Okay, I think I accomplished my goal and used all of the mattes, so I want to go into the deepest shimmer right here. And I'm not a gold lover, so I was very impressed when I saw this palette in person. Like, I'm not even kidding, guys. When I was like, you're gonna get this palette and you're gonna absolutely despise it and you're gonna, like, trash it, you know. And then I opened it and I was like, oh, hold on, you're beautiful. Like, I apologize for ever second guessing this palette in my head. I just have to share with you all the roller coaster that I have been experiencing, especially when opening the palette. So, guys, she took my breath away. It's not too bronzy and orange like the bronze palette. I will compare that and show you side by sides. Like, that's like orange on me. This is gold, beautiful, like just summer in a palette. She's so sexy and beautiful. All right, now let's go into this gold right here. Like, this one, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, guys. I'm not a gold lover. I have full intentions of getting a few of these shades and taking them out and replacing them with some of my indie shadows to give me that green until duochrome shift, multi-chrome effect that I need. So I just wanted to know that, guys. Just know I'm going to be kind of creating some of my own shadows after testing it. And the gold, how ironic is that? That's the first shade that's gonna get out of this palette. But just know the formulation, after swatching all of them and touching them, using them, they are the lovely Natasha Denona formula that you love. Okay, I used you. How many more shades can I use? Let's see which one. I want to go into Aura, and I want to see, this one was like very, I don't know, it's like I'm touching it and it's not even, I don't even feel anything. It's very smooth. I'm going to put that on the inner corner. So it looks white, and then on the inner corner it pops a little gold. Okay, it's pretty, it's pretty. But I'm not too excited, you know? That's the only one whenever I swatched, I was like, okay, okay, okay. Let's go into some of these others. Ooh, this one right here. Oh, you're nice. This is like one of those topper shades, so I'm happy to see that. See guys how repetitive? I'm just mixing in two different. So let me show you. I put this one over there, and now I'm putting this one over here. I just want you to see they look identical. So blending wise, easy, but a little redundant. There's 3 shades I haven't used. What do you say I just throw them on my eyes? Oh, I'll put the gold that I'm not into on the lower lash line. Let's go into this one and just top it on. I just want to show you in case you're going back and forth. Look, they are all looking very similar on the eyes. That's why I have full intentions of going into this palette. I know some of you are going to be like, don't you dare. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go into it now. Fizzy. It's like one of those topper shades, very thin. But guys, every single shade in this palette is flattering, so keep that in mind. That's all. We have one more to use. That is all. Let's see. I'm going to go into the gold that I'm not the biggest fan of. This is like the only true gold. If you're scared of golds, for the most part, like you could get a very gorgeous summer moment. That's not too out of your comfort zone. But now let's put in the gold on the inner third and see how gold it is. You know, geez, take a shot every time I say gold. You'll have a fun night or day, whatever you decide. Okay, that's honestly not like the scariest gold I've ever used. Literally the fastest look of ever using 15 shadows I've ever done, and I'm gonna do liner. I'll be right back. Here is the look. I could have probably achieved this by using like 3 shades, a dark brown, mid-tone, and a shimmer. But here are all of 15 shades thrown on my eyes. Let's turn on the brightness. Here we have it under low lighting. On this lighting, it kind of shows you how yellow gold it kind of leans, but in real life it does not look this yellow. But honestly, in my opinion, it isn't like the most sparkliest, shimmeriest, like intense shimmers. They're very effortless, flattering, timeless beauty. That's what you get with Natasha Denona. Let me go ahead and let me zoom you out and wrap up my thoughts on the new golden palette. Okay, so if you're here and you're like, I could care less about the original gold, please just sum up your thoughts on the new golden palette. First of all, packaging, 10 out of 10. I mean, 20 out of 10. It's beautiful. And this actually was an entire collection. There's a highlighter and a gloss. The highlighter for me, it's not practical, and 2, it's too expensive. Whereas like I paid 50 something for the palette after a coupon code. I'm not going to pay 55 plus tax on a highlighter palette, but if you would like to have a part of this collection and you have like this gold palette for the mattes and you want that for like highlighter, I get it. And the gloss, I typically don't buy high-end glosses just because it's too expensive, but it looks honestly really pretty, I'm not gonna lie. So as far as the color story, it is on. I'm a neutral lover, guys. I love this so much. I cannot lie to you. The quality is 10 out of 10. It's beautiful. Natasha Denona has such a way of giving us like that time and time again, just classy, effortless, beautiful, luxury formulation. They blend like a dream. The shimmers are so flattering, and as I get older, I appreciate it more and more. Now, if you are like indie lover, this is not like obviously like indie shimmer shifty shades like flaky. It's none of that. This is more of like that luxurious formula that you see with Natasha Denona. So honestly, formula 10 out of 10. Color story, beautiful for a neutral lover, and the packaging, I love it. So if you're just here for the golden palette, you're going to absolutely love this. And honestly, I think that if you have like a mid to deep skin tone, this may be honestly like a really good everyday palette for you, just because the undertones, I don't know, because I feel like for Fair and Light, like we always get lots of cool palettes, but we don't see a lot of these like warm tone but not too orangey palettes. So I'm excited for all my dark skin friends to tell me how they like this palette, and I will show you what I mean. So here is the iconic Glam palette. This is cool, 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 cool. And there we have them side by side, so you can kind of see the tones if you would like to get it or not. And then let's see the actual neutral palette from Natasha. This is the I Need a Nude palette, and I want to hold this up. Even compared to this palette, it's still, this one looks cool tone. You see what I'm saying about the different tones in here? So this is more of like a neutral, cool, and then I would say this is a neutral warm, And now let me show you the true warm palette. Here we have it. So this, if you have dark skin, this may be your absolute favorite go-to palette for every day. Honestly, like medium skin, this may be your personal favorite. Neutral warm, and this is just straight up warm. So you're gonna have to let me know which undertone do you like the best for you every day. For me, every day, I love me. I need a nude. This was my OG, but now I'm like, for summer, this is so beautiful. Okay, so now for all my gold palette lovers, guys, this is iconic and she will always be iconic. I feel like most of us who have been begging for Natasha Denona to come out with a new revamped version, we wanted like these shades, but like newer formula that isn't like expired, you know, with like the similar color story in a way. I just wish like this one would have been named something different that wasn't inspired after this one, maybe Golden Hour or something, because this palette gives me Golden Hour feels, vibes, all the things. So that's just kind of my thoughts. I love both of them. I'm happy to have them, but it's like I don't understand, you know, because like I just miss those duochromes, because this palette is so repetitive and redundant with the shades, because like I use every single shade on my eyes just to prove a point where we don't need all this. So the little gold, obviously it's still kind of in the same ballpark and family as like the big gold. So I just wish we would have seen something other from this palette, and maybe this one like still exists in her line, just be, you know, renamed something else. But I mean, that's a lot of what ifs, that's not going to happen. But I do adore the packaging. I love the formula, and the color story just is getting my neutral heart absolutely going. But just know that I'm probably going to dig into this and kind of make it my perfect mini gold palette, so keep that in mind, and you are more than welcome to do the same thing. Also, these palettes are magnetic, you can pop them out. I know like these shades will fit in there. Like I could just easily take one of these greens or teals and have my own little mini gold inspired palette. Guys, so overall, she's a beautiful palette with a lovely formulation. It's just kind of funny that it was inspired by most of people's favorite palette in her collection. So maybe in the future we'll see a midi Metropolis, but now I'm like, I'm just gonna hold on to the big one and love it for what it is, because I don't know, I don't want like the midi to be like 50 Shades of Orange. I don't know, but the gold will always be special. But I am happy to have the new golden palette in my collection. I hope you guys found this video helpful, entertaining. Let me know your thoughts down below as always. Thank you so much for being here wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye guys.